All right, let's take a look at my NVDA trade here. I noticed it was coming up into the red area, which is a short area, and I wanted to take a little bit of an aggressive move. I had a very tight stop loss on it. Once this candle turned red right here and the next one jumped over and put a little wick in, I used the top of that wick as my stop loss, and I was shooting for a 1-to-1, and it did hit the 1-to-1. Unfortunately, right before it shot down and would hit the target, it stopped me out. Okay, now we got a couple of wicks up into this area, and it's at the range of a red box, which is telling me over here in the 5-minute chart, you can see that it's an area of weakness. It's at the 200 moving average at the high of the previous day. And let's see what we got on the 15-minute chart here. Okay, so right here we got some resistance in this red box. We just pulled it down into these wicks, and we pulled it down into this pivot right here. So that's where it's at right now. It looks weak. 60-minute chart shows us that it's breaking out of some trend lines, and on the daily, it could very easily be forming a flag pattern. Okay, and that we want to be ready, to take that long if it develops. So my strategy now is to just kind of like wait and plan for bigger moves and not jump in. Well, I did jump in this little trade right here. That's probably going to be the only one I take. It's looking really choppy in this area. Even if it gets up here, it's still got a lot of red to go through. Let's see. Yeah, even if it gets up to the high of yesterday, right here, it's going to have to get over the top, come back, test, and then push back up higher. I don't think I'm going to be taking a lot of high-risk trades on it. I did my one, and it almost worked, and it didn't, so now I'm going to be careful. All right, the plan for Tesla on the daily, you can see here, it is going down. If it continues to go down, where are we at on the 5-minute on this 5-minute range? Okay, it's finally breaking out of the 5-minute range. It's the dash line. So if it tests and rolls back down, it'd be interesting to short. Let's take a look at some more possible resistance areas on the 5-minute chart here. Let's make it the 15-minute chart or the hourly chart even, and draw some trend lines to see where we're at, because if it creates a bear flag, that'll be a great opportunity to short this thing here. So there's the support level on the hourly chart. So we can't do anything until that is breaking that right there. So, okay, with NVIDIA, I thought I had a decent setup here. It broke out of the highs of yesterday. Okay, and I didn't jump in on that candle. The next candle came back down, slammed into the moving average, and went right back up over the top and closed. And the next candle started going green. So I kept my stop loss underneath this pintail and got long on this candle here. And it came down under that pintail and stopped me out. Was that a bad trade or was that a good trade? I think it was worth a try. It seemed like it was going in that direction. And now it's consolidating here again. And it might try for another push. It could be that it's going to take a couple tries, or it just may not. It may go up and fail again. And that would give us a short to at least the low of the 5-minute range. So I'll have to wait and see. I'm glad that I got out when I said I was going to get out. I gave it a try. I waited for the test. It started to break out again. I didn't jump in on the first candle breakout. I waited for something to kind of bounce and show me some strength. And then, unfortunately, the very next wave was just a down too far to it. Now let's watch this and see what would happen if I had kept my stop underneath the strength of the candle here, and let's see what happens. Maybe my stop was too close. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's also possible that it just swept the stop losses out from the previous day's high here and is going back down. And it's very possible that's going to continue down now that it got over the top of yesterday's highs. We'll have to really just watch and see how this develops. I think one of my weaknesses is trying to understand that a strong move up is going to violate resistance. And sometimes we miss powerful moves to the upside because we're looking at the next resistance level, the next resistance level, the next resistance level. And all the stock does when it's powerfully moving upward is blow past all those areas, and we never get into the trade long because we're looking at the next resistance level. I have to figure out a way to resolve that issue as well. Well, it looks like NVIDIA would have taken me out of a lower stop loss. And it does look like it's putting in some bearish tendencies here at the red candle, at the red zone, at the high of the previous day. This could be the reversal area here. And the question is, if it is, what are we looking for to get short on it? You know, it's breaking the structure now a little bit here. I'm going to try to keep analyzing this and figure out what would be the best strategy to get in this if I were to try to take it short. Okay, I'm going to try this 1-to-1 hit here. Hopefully it'll get down there for me. This consolidation after breaking the structure, putting in a couple of M pattern and a couple of bearish signals here. If it can come down here and get me, that would be great. I got my order set down there to hit the target. Okay, it took my target, so we hit 1-to-1 on that. Why did I take the trade? Because of the bearish candle formations up here into an already established resistance area on higher time charts. It broke the structure on this candle right here. It broke this pivot. Then it consolidated, and then it pushed. I got in a little late. My stop was above the consolidation green candle where this red dash is. That's my stop loss. This is my entry point. This is my 1-to-1. And my goal is really just take 1-to-1 when I can get it. So I'm very happy about that. If it goes down further, we'll just analyze, see where we're at. But this is the best trade of the day right here. Had a couple of bad trades and one good trade. I'm very happy about that. You know, Tesla's in a very similar situation. It's at the high of yesterday. It's in a red zone. It's already put in one bearish candle formation and one here, but it's trying to push back up there. The question is, will it push through and close, consolidate, and continue with confirmation candles? On the hourly chart, okay, so it's pushing above. It's pushing above the high of yesterday. It's pushing above the first hour high. And let's mark this high over here, I guess. All right, so there's the high of the gap down. And let's see what happens here. Will it fail? What kind of signs will we get to possibly play this to the short side here? Let's pull up the 1-minute chart here. Consolidates and keeps going. There's a momentum play. Okay, with NVIDIA, had I not gotten out at 1-to-1, which was my goal today, was take profits when they come. We shorted right here, a little late, but we hit 1-to-1 and we got out. Now, usually when 1-to-1 is hit, I take my stop loss from up here and I move it down to break even. And that's if I'm going for something bigger or I don't have enough. Or if I have more shares is what I should try to do here. That way I can take profit and then move the rest on break even. But if I had not taken profit, it would have broke me even for zero. And so I am glad to see that taking profits when you get them is a good strategy. I want to make a quick note on the NVIDIA trade that if I didn't switch to the 1-minute chart, I would not have seen that consolidation right here. You don't see the consolidation after this red candle closes below this pivot structure here on the 2-minute chart. Let's go to the 1-minute chart quickly. And when the red candle closes below the structure here, we see the consolidation, and that's why I took the trade as it broke down below. And we would be stopped out for a loss had I not taken my profit. Okay, I think it's worth pointing out the missed short opportunity on Tesla. On the hourly chart, clearly hitting that resistance level into this red zone. The red zone would have been anywhere in these pintails, you know, from the pintail to the pintail on the second bar. So it hit that, started turning down. That's the hourly chart for Tesla. And it's far away from this trend line. And what do we got here on the 5-minute chart? It's showing us, and let's check the 15-minute chart real quick here. Not a whole lot other than just, you really don't see anything until you get to the 1-minute chart or the 2-minute chart. Here's the 2-minute chart right here. And we know we're in that area, and we see red take out green for the first time since this move here. Red take out green, right? And it's the second red take out green candle, and it gives us a narrow range bar to enter in on. Unfortunately, the next red candle might have ticked us out if we had jumped in on this bar. Now, getting in on this red bar right here, a lot of times it'll take off fast and we won't be able to get it. And it's difficult when that happens. So we try to use this narrow range bar as our stop loss, but you see the wick, it would have come up and stopped us out. Could we have tried again a second time to get in? Possibly got in on this next bar right here after that wick had performed. So you see the stop loss for the entry would be the top of that wick, and the entry would be right here on this breakdown of this particular red bar right here, and you can clearly see that the 1-to-1 was hit. However, if I didn't take the 1-to-1 and I moved my stop loss from up here down to break even, it would have broke me even. So, you know, you get almost a 3-to-1 on this if we could somehow manage, first of all, to get in at the right time. Secondly, take the 1-to-1 when it gives it to us, right? Instead of breaking even for 0. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's one of my goals right now, is to just take the 1-to-1, man. Take it, because so many times it just breaks even for 0. And so there you go. That's the missed opportunity using the hourly chart right here with the resistance areas, the pintail coming down, and as soon as it starts to turn red, let's see, when does it start to turn red? Let's take a look at this. When does it start to turn red? We can give it a 189.35, 189.35. What's the price over here when it starts to turn red? 189.39, 189. Okay, so yeah, we get down into, clearly get down into, we probably still be on the hour candle that's creating the pintail. And by the time the next hour kicks over at 189.39, which is way down here, yeah, we would have tried to enter that trade before that happened. So there you go. That's how we need to be shorting those right there. Let's practice that. Let's practice watching that. Okay, let's go over these 3 trades for NVIDIA real quick. This one was a loss, first trade of the day. It went up strongly into resistance area. This very next candle produced a pintail and started closing down. Once it closed below resistance level or the previous high of day, I watched the very next candle and I got short on it. And it would have hit 1-to-1 down here, except it ticked up at the last second and stopped me out before it went down to 1-to-1. So that's just unfortunate. It was a higher risk trade. I don't think that this is the best setup, although it did work. Well, it didn't work, but it would have worked if it hadn't got ticked out at the last second. I really ought to think about possibly not taking those higher risk trades like that. But here's the second trade. All right, after better analysis, it's not going to break out. It's creating a lower high with red candles. We started to see some consolidation underneath this last pivot, and the overall big picture was that it's in a resistance area. And first attempt anyway, it's weak, so it may go through that eventually, but right now it didn't. So I shorted underneath the consolidation, hit 1-to-1, and it would have come back up and stopped me out for a loss had I not taken that quick 1-to-1 on the third trade of NVIDIA today.